The Hoia Baciu forest has been a hotbed of mysterious reports, with the locals saying that stories have been shared for as long as they can remember. It's believed that the legends of the area can be traced back generations, since settlements first arose near the area and discovered the anonymous terror-inducing forest. Claims of vampire entities roaming through the trees, unexplainable lights in the sky that can hover and dance around, demonstrating a peculiar form of intelligence, mysterious sounds of disembodied screams and laughs escaping from the underbrush, and countless other claims that have been made over the years, spawning endless legends and reports of mysterious activity that is impossible to explain. Even more odd, however, is the clearing that many of the local residents claim should be avoided. According to local residents, located near the centre of the forest is a circular area that opens up into a large clearing, where no vegetation seems to grow. Although skeptics will often dismiss the story, as aerial photos of the region show that there's no such clearing anywhere throughout the Hoia Baciu forest, local residents claim that the circular clearing is not visible from the sky, and only becomes visible when a hiker has entered deep into the forest. The clearing is believed to be of supernatural origin, and acts as a portal that leads travellers or other hikers to another dimension, which is often offered as an explanation by the locals as to why it appears to be hidden, and becomes visible when entered by foot. Unfortunately, those who enter the clearing are believed to never return, and become lost in a world completely different to our own. Although a clearing as described by the townsfolk has never been discovered, tourists who happen to hike through the area claim to report sudden feelings of intense anxiety and nausea that progressively gets worse as they travel closer towards the centre of the forest. This forbidding sense of artificial terror and sudden illness manifests in nearly all of those who visit the forest, including tourists who are unaware of the legends and myths surrounding the region. Some hikers have claimed to have spotted mysterious lights hovering over the top of the forest, believing that to possibly be extraterrestrial or supernatural in nature. Extraterrestrial researchers believe that such sightings of unidentified flying objects and the sudden onset of anxiety attacks are evidence of an extraterrestrial origin, as countless witness reports all across the world claim that encounters with extraterrestrial crafts can cause sudden fits of paranoia and panic attacks to manifest from seemingly nowhere. Many often report that when a craft is nearby, whether they are aware of it or not, they will suddenly feel a terrible anxiety and panic overcome them, similar to that experienced in the forest of Hoia Baciu. One such legend is credited with providing the forest with its name. According to the forest history, a local shepherd by the name of Hoia Baciu was travelling near the forest alongside 200 sheep, his entire flock of livestock, when he suddenly disappeared along with his 200 sheep. It was originally believed that the shepherd was attacked by a passing thief, who dragged the body of the shepherd deep into the woods and stole the livestock for himself, despite the fact that none of the townsfolk saw a trace of the sheep anywhere in the region, with tracks that disappeared into the forest never to be seen again. Similar stories of mass disappearances of sheep were also reported during the 1600s, across London and nearby shires. Another strange report surrounding the Hoia Baciu forest was made in 1968, when Emil Barnier, a military technician, photographed an image of a massive flying saucer hovering over the tree line of the forest. Barnier claimed to have seen the craft hovering for a period of time before snapping a photo and sending it to the local news agency to be published. However, following his sighting, Emil Barnier was ridiculed and made the victim of a smear campaign that tried to discredit him as a military technician and ruin his career as a response to his claim of encountering the unidentified flying object. Although many skeptics today continue to doubt the authenticity of the event, another researcher by the name of Alexandru Sivd would also take several images of unidentified flying objects hovering over the forest through the 1960s, with many of the photos predating Emil's encounter in 1968. Using the gathered images, Romanian ufologist Ion Habana joint author to UFOs Behind the Iron Curtain, conducted his own investigation into the matter and found a number of interesting facts related to the case. After meeting Emil Bonilla twice, once in 1968, immediately after his publication of the images, and then again in 1970 when doing a follow-up investigation, Ion Habana claimed that Emil knew nothing about flying saucers, unidentified flying objects, extraterrestrial encounters or alien reports, showing no interest whatsoever in the topic. Ion Habana believed that Mr. Emil Bonilla merely reported the UFO to the local news under the belief that the craft was possibly invasive or clandestine in its construction, and not that it had any relation whatsoever to extraterrestrials. Though many skeptics continue to believe that Emil was merely hoaxing the event, it's important to note that books on ufology or similar topics were not made available for sale or printing in Romania during the 1960s. Ion Habana also noted that the hoax explanation was completely outlandish, stating that at the time in Romania, there was no possibility of selling documents of any kind to local news agencies, and their publication implied no financial benefit to the author, so it would have been impossible for the photographer to hoax the images for financial profit. Ion Habana would later reach out to photographic analysis Belgian G. Delcorps to conduct an independent investigation on the image, saying the following: "The analysis of Belgian G. Delcorps is in this respect extremely interesting and instructive, not only by its conclusions, but also by the seriousness and the precision which characterizes it. Unfortunately, Delcorps examined only the first two photographs. He noticed that in picture number 2, the UFO could not be at 85 degrees above the horizon, as stated by Bonilla, but at around 30 degrees only. In the number 1 photograph, it's 20 degrees above the horizon, and the calculable diameter is 22.3 meters, which was obtained by calculations and comparisons with the trees and the solid masses. It left the assumption that the machine on photograph number 2 was within 600 meters of the photographer. It's obviously possible since other calculations gave a value ranging between 300 and 480 meters for the altitude." End quote. So what do you make of these mysterious stories? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.